Did you know that there exists a villain so brutal and so unstoppable that even Spider-Man realized the only way to save his city was to kill him? Not the Green Goblin, not Venom. No, this man made the Hulk and Thor look like schoolyard bullies. This is the story of Morlun, the apex predator who almost ended Peter Parker's career, and the dark secret of the spider totem he exposed. We watch Spider-Man swinging through the city, handling common thieves, his daily, easy missions, until for the first time, he encounters a man just like him, someone with powers strikingly similar to his own. Not knowing what this stranger's true intentions are, Spider-Man decides to follow him and demand answers. But the stranger, whose name we learn is Ezekiel, not only demonstrates powers equal to his own, but also reveals that he knows Spider-Man's secret identity and far more about his abilities than Peter ever imagined. Ezekiel challenges Peter to reconsider the origin of his powers. Was the radioactive spider bite really just a coincidence? Or did the spider choose Peter? The question leaves Peter stunned, realizing he had never truly thought about it before. And with that, the man simply wishes him good night and leaps away. "Who are you? Why are you coming to me with all of this?" Peter shouts into the night. As Ezekiel disappears, he calls back, shouting that now is the time to understand the true nature of his powers, because that's the only way he'll survive what's coming. That's when we are transported to a pier, where a man named Dex is seen paying a guard to let him through. We hear Dex speaking to someone, and then a creature named Morlun reveals himself, thanking Dex. Dex removes the cover, revealing a frail German man chained to the wall, begging Morlun to stop. But Morlun only looks at him coldly and says it's time to end his agony. And with that, he kills him. The mysterious, now revitalized Morlun explains that he has just drained the life force of a German superhero, a fellow totem. And that's when we discover the horrific truth. Morlun is an ancient vampire-like villain who feeds on the life energy of totems or simply beings who embody the powers of animals. Peter Parker, the Spider-Man, is an animal totem, Morlun's next meal. The next day, Peter can't stop thinking about the mysterious Ezekiel. He's shaken by how much this stranger knows. Meanwhile, Ezekiel is shown in a high-level corporate meeting, making it clear he is a wealthy businessman.
We don't have that kind of time.
As the meeting ends, his unease is not unnoticed. A woman approaches him and quietly asks if he made contact with Spider-Man. Ezekiel admits that he did. The woman responds coldly, warning that she hopes he knows what he's doing, because if he doesn't, they'll all be dead. Spider-Man swings through the city, but that's when Morlun and Dex notice him. Morlun unleashes a pulse of energy to test him. That's when Spider-Man's senses go wild, screaming like nothing he's ever felt before. What the heck was that? Spider-Sense went nuts, like nothing I've ever felt before. He looks down but sees no danger, yet his Spider-Sense keeps screaming for him to hide. So he swings away. A few days go by. Peter Parker is at his new job as a high school science teacher. One afternoon, he heads to the principal's office, only to find Ezekiel waiting there, having just made a massive donation to the school. Shocked and curious, Peter pulls Ezekiel aside. At a restaurant, Ezekiel wastes no time. He warns Peter once again that he's in danger. He explains the existence of totemistic powers on Earth and how Peter's abilities are tied to the spider. Ezekiel reveals that he himself gained his powers through an ancient ritual connected to the spider totem, granting him similar abilities. He warns that the world is built on a balance of life and death, and that throughout history, beings with such powers have always been hunted. Ezekiel instructs Peter to come with him to his workplace. When they arrive, he reveals a secret room made of solid steel with an adamantium core that cost him millions. Ezekiel explains that after hiring 6 private investigators and connecting the dots, he uncovered Peter's identity and built this room as a place for him to hide. What I can do, though, is save you from Morlun.
Peter, please.
He tells Peter that if he stays hidden here long enough,
they're coming.
Morlun might not find him. But Peter instantly refuses, reminding him that he has classes to teach and a city to protect. Ezekiel's warning comes again. Everyone who has ever faced Morlun has died. Peter's chances of survival are 0.
Peter's chances of
Peter's reply is a classic Spidey moment, though delivered with grim seriousness. I've faced guys before who said they were going to kill me. He isn't the first, and he won't be the last. I'll deal with it.
He will kill you, Peter.
Ezekiel's voice drops. Listen to me. You've never faced anything like this before. He will kill you, Peter." But Peter ignores Ezekiel's final warning and leaves him. And that's when we see Morlun, already prepared to begin his hunt. A big fire strikes the city, and Peter is there saving people, but his spider sense goes wild again. I taste blood as I hit the car. Nothing's ever hit me that hard. Not the Hulk, not Thor, nobody. Peter's stunned. His usual wisecrack is nowhere to be found, because nothing is funny anymore. As Spider-Man looks up, he notices Morlun watching him, without saying a word. Peter crashes into a building, and as he gets up, he tries to taunt him. "So, Sunshine, you got anything you want to tell?" Morlun explains that he has no special desire to see Peter dead, that it's nothing personal, just something he sadly has to do. He tells Peter the terrifying fact: he never gets tired, never grows weaker, and there is simply nothing Peter can do to stop him. But Peter doesn't listen. Punch after punch he tries to stop him. "I've hit him with everything I've got, but he keeps coming." Spider-Man tries to reach the roof, realizing Morlun might not follow him there. But Morlun simply starts making massive dents in the building and begins climbing. Peter realizes Morlun doesn't even care about the civilians as long as he reaches his target. He heads towards a less populated area, trying to buy time to figure out how to beat this guy. He reminds himself that Morlun has no real abilities, except for incredible strength, a lie he tells himself to stay sane. But as he thinks, Morlun catches up and grabs him hard, tearing a large piece of Peter's suit away. They crash down. A woman tries to help Morlun, mistaking him for the victim, but he grabs her. Peter, tired from the fight, still manages to save her and starts pummeling Morlun again. Morlun rips a car from the street and nearly crushes a group of civilians. "Get up, get on your feet, he's coming." Peter's chest is on fire, his ribs are cracked, maybe broken. Can't let him know, can't. Peter drags Morlun farther from the civilians, realizing how frighteningly different this fight is. Morlun doesn't taunt, doesn't talk, he only tries to kill. As he makes his escape, he realizes the man has no weaknesses. Desperately, he throws on a pile of civilian clothes, trying to catch his breath. Peter admits how exhausted he is, but when Morlun threatens the civilians, he still pushes himself to fight. "What did I do that I should die like this?" "No, you're not going to die, Peter. You're Spider-Man. Act like it." Peter manages to knock him into an apartment, but then notices gas pouring from the oven. Morlun picks up a match, strikes it, and triggers a massive explosion. Peter's blasted off his feet, but when he looks up, he sees Morlun completely unharmed. Panicked, Peter scrambles to escape. Morlun's assistant Dex arrives. Morlun calmly asks for his clothes and remarks to Dex that there's something unusual about Spider-Man. We see Ezekiel looking out over the city. Peter, beaten and exhausted, kicks the door open and begs Ezekiel for help. But Ezekiel tells him it's too late. Peter is going to die and there's nothing he can do. He explains that once Morlun touches someone, he can track them anywhere and that even his adamantium shelter won't protect Peter now. He asks him to at least help fight Morlun. Ezekiel refuses, explaining that if he gets too close, Morlun might sense his powers too and absorb his energy. "I'm sorry, Pete. I thought I could hold my own." Ezekiel falls, sacrificing himself. Morlun tells Peter that he is going to have a cappuccino to wash that down.
No pop zap racing now.
Then Morlun leaves, while Spider-Man dives into the water, but doesn't find anyone there. Peter realizes Ezekiel managed to hit Morlun so hard that he bled. Quickly, he collects a sample and begins testing it. Later, he puts on another suit and heads to a nuclear power plant in New York. He triggers the alarm, and while everyone escapes, he waits for Morlun, clearly with a final, desperate plan. As Morlun approaches, we see Peter injecting himself with radioactive fluid. He admits this might kill him, but explains that turning his own blood into something toxic is the only way to stop him. And that's when we realize why Morlun sensed something was wrong with Peter. The bite from the radioactive spider had tainted the purity of his life force. Morlun walks in and sees Peter lying on the floor, thinking Peter has sacrificed himself for him. When Morlun begins to drain his life force, Morlun drops him instantly, and he sees his arm burning. Peter hammers him punch after punch, shouting the truth the radiation could be his weakness. Every time I hit him, instead of my energy, he absorbs the radiation at the point of contact. Morlun crashes into the wall and begins to beg for mercy, telling Peter that if he lets him go, he'll never try to pursue him again. But that's when Peter realizes that for the first time in his life, he can't. If he does, Morlun might hunt others and he may never be vulnerable again. God in heaven, Peter, how far are you prepared to go? As Peter contemplates his unthinkable choice, we see Dex step out with a gun. He points it at Morlun and fires. Morlun begins to die, telling Peter that he was just hungry and there was nothing he could do. Dex drops the gun and runs while the police storm the nuclear power plant. Peter escapes too, but manages to catch up to Dex. Dex explains that Morlun hurt him badly, so Peter tells him to run, but warns that if he ever comes back, he'll hurt him even worse. Hello, God. This is Peter.